I mean, this race is so hard, and there's so many choices and there's so many decisions. And when you can confidently check a box and move on, and we're able to do that with gear, it's an opportunity that you just jump at.
As far as I can remember, we started working with HPX almost 10 years ago during our first Volvo Ocean Race campaign, and started in early 2014, Team Alphamedica, and we were incredibly proud to sign up with Musto.
70, 65 to 70.
And I remember not just how incredible it was to get all that product for the first time, but also to deal with, you know, really the top people at Musto to learn more about the product.
The relationship felt a lot more like a partnership than it has just a supplier relationship because of the feedback, really. I mean, we have collectively been part of the innovation process, whether it's the small details or the weight of the fabric or the durability of the knee pads. I mean, you name it. We've kind of been part of the process all along the way.
You're getting ready for the longest leg in the 50-year history of this event.
You know, I think over the course of 50 days, we see the HPX product and the relationship with Musto as a competitive advantage. You know, it's a long time to be spending on the boat in some pretty rugged conditions, and we have confidence, you know, that our gear will hold up, that we will be dry. I don't know what everyone else is using, but for the teams that aren't using Musto, it could be a long leg. I think it's a little bit different in this edition of the race because a lot of the sailing is done inside. But when you do go outside, it's in some pretty hectic conditions. You know, most of that work's done on the bow. You know, the days of holding onto the steering wheel and getting blown off are thankfully over. But what the gear has to do now is it has to be a lot more versatile. It has to be able to exist inside. You have to be able to get it on quick, get it off quick, and then the work that you do on the bow with sail handling, everything, that is all the same.
Well, it's also not just about getting hit by water, but I mean, you're, you know, down your knees, you're working on the winches, which are really low, then you're sitting up on the bench for hours at a time. You know, you guys often even sleep in your pants, right?
Firefighter style. You got your boots on, you got your pants around your ankles, and you're ready for anything. Yeah, it's with the change to the IMOCA, the life on board has changed dramatically, and I feel like the product, the Musto product itself, has been up to that transition.
So if you remember in the last race, we had to carry, per the ocean race rules, a hooded jacket in addition to just a latex seal smock. What are you guys running today?
Well, we worked with Musto to come up with a hood that actually zips off the HPX jacket, which is nice because there's times when you need a hood and there's times when you don't need a hood, and you don't need to necessarily bring two jackets. So having the garment be that much more versatile has been a big plus, certainly. You know, on the 65s, you'd sit there and grind for an hour, and it was really nice to have the hood. And then, you know, you'd have to go forward and do a sail change, and, you know, the hood would really just slow you down and get in the way and hinder communication. So, you know, whether it's the zip-on, zip-off hood, changing the pockets, changing the fit, like the new line of HPX has been a real evolution of what it was before. I think the key to the HPX line is the GORE-TEX Pro membrane itself. And I think if you're looking for offshore wet weather gear and you don't see the GORE-TEX name behind whatever you're putting on, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, in some of the products that don't have GORE-TEX, you take it off and you feel wet inside, and it's actually just because all your sweat hasn't been able to breathe back out of it. So it's not just the waterproofness coming in, but it's the ability for all the moisture to go back out. Do you think you could take on this next leg with anything else besides a Musto HPX jacket and pants with GORE-TEX inside them? Imagine what that world looks like.
Doubtful. It's a sad, sorry world. You know, I think just the work that we've done with Musto, the work we've done with the product, you know, the thought of using anything else, of having something inferior in our gear quiver, it's just something I don't want to think about.
Tick the box and move on.
Yeah, exactly. We've been testing the new HPX product during this race, and it's lived up to the task, certainly. You know, in the first leg, when you're crossing the doldrums and you get a storm cloud and it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit and 20 knots of wind, and you gotta lace it up, put it on, go on deck, do a change, and come back down. That's some of the most difficult you know, gear-intensive conditions you can put it through, because you have all the elements of the wind and the waves, and you have the heat. So you need the breathability, and you know, just based on what we've done with the product so far, you know, I have confidence in it for the Southern Ocean, but also when we go and we do those, you know, those intense tropical legs again later in the race. It's funny, we've done a lot of miles, we've taken a lot of iconic pictures, you know, whether it be the, you know, start of our first race or rounding Cape Horn, or, you know, doing the same things 3 or 4 years later. And HPX has been in every one of those photos, you know, which is amazing. I mean, I got pictures of us rounding Cape Horn with Alva Medica, and, you know, the HPX logo is just as prevalent as our smiles. But watching, you know, us grow older, you know, and watching the product evolve, you know, at the same time, it's really been a part of every race and every memory for us, really.
Yeah. Well said. You took the words out of my mouth. I don't know what I could add to that.